So the occupations you guys see on the screen right now, they are in high demand in Australia. So I've been making videos about these high demand construction occupations for some time now. So I made this one and I made that one. And all I've been saying is Australia is busy building a lot of homes, because if you guys have watched my previous videos, I've been talking about how Australia thinks we are in the housing crisis. So the government has basically taken upon itself to build more homes. And this brings about opportunities for people that are skilled in the construction industry. So when I say skilled, if you've got skills as a carpenter, as a plasterer, as a mason, as a tiler, as a welder, as an electrician, all these occupations are in high demand. And a lot of people in Australia that possesses these skills are now smiling. So we had another 189 invitation just last month, which was the 21st of August 2025. And guess what? People got invitation. So people that possesses the occupation in the construction industry got invited at a point of 65. This is amazing, guys. So guys, if you're watching this now and you want to migrate to Australia, then take this opportunity. So what I'll basically do now is I'll jump on the PC and I'll show you guys step by step in regards to how to go through this process. As you can see here, so budget 2025-2026, yet still they are still hammering that Australia needs, or Australia wants to build 1.2 million homes within the course of 5 years. They made this announcement last year. Okay, so the middle of 2024 is when they made this announcement. So this is basically to tell you that so 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029. So the construction industry will need a lot of skilled migrants to help build this 1.2 new homes. When you go to the respective states website, you can basically go have a look for yourself, and you can check that almost all the occupation list is got all the occupations that are relevant to the construction industry. There's another article here from news, okay, so abc.net.au, and there's a video here. I'm not going to play it, but it states the government wants 1.2 million homes built in 5 years. Is this possible? They are doubting because they don't really think they are going to meet the target. There's another one from realestate.com.au, housing crisis, the alarming gap in Australian building target. So we are not meeting our target. If you are really smart, this is the time for you to to go through the process. I'll quickly give you guys an overview of the process. Okay, before we do that, let's look at the last month invitation rounds, current invitation rounds. Click on the first link here. This will take me to the Skills Select website. So when you come to the Skills Select website, invitation rounds outcome. All right, so current round. So invitations issued on 21st of August 2025, which was just last month. When we look at the occupations and also for Visa Surplus 189, as to what point did applicants that lodged their EOI received invitation. When you take your time and look, you find out that almost all the occupations that are relevant to the construction industry received an invitation at a point of 65. So when you see 65, that means the government is very desperate. So bricklayer, we have 65. Carpenter, we have 65, and the list goes on. The last invitation round 2, I think I did a video and I showed you guys. So let's quickly go to the previous invitation rounds. Yep, so the previous one before the one that happened in August was on 7th of November 2024. Okay, so when we go into details, you will see that most of the occupations that were in the construction industry again received an invitation of 65. So as you guys can see here, so we have bricklayer 65, cabinets maker 65. All right, so guys, Australia is calling for skilled migrants in the construction industry because we are currently going through housing crisis and Australia wants to build a lot of homes. Now, let me quickly take you guys through a step-by-step process in regards to how to go through the process. So in this video, I'm basically targeting people in the construction industry. Okay, so from the last invitation rounds, all the occupations that are listed here got an invitation at 65 points. Air conditioning and mechanical service plumber, bricklayer, carpenter and joiner, drainer, electrician general, electrician special glass, gas fitter, glazier, joiner, plumber, roof plumber, solid plasterer, stone mason, wall and floor tiler, painting and trades worker. They also got invitation at 70. So if you fall in any of this category, okay, you fall in any of this category, please listen attentively. So this video is for those that wants to use the general skills migration route. You are not looking for an employer, okay? You are dependent on either the whole of Australia, a state or a regional area to nominate you. I want to make this clear. So what is the core requirement? You have to be under the age of 45. Really important. You need to get a positive skills assessment. Really important. You need English. Yes, you need at least a competent English, okay, to go through the process. And you also need to score a point. We have something called a point testing calculator. And you need a minimum of at least 65 points to qualify. So what are the steps involved? I know most of my viewers are basically based offshore, okay, outside of Australia. So if you're outside of Australia and you have any of these skills that I've mentioned and you want to use that to travel to Australia, this is the process, okay? You first have to go look at your occupation. If your occupation is on the skills occupation list, that is one check. The next is you need to get your skills assessment done. This is where you spend most of your time. Now, the assessing body that basically does or conducts most of the skills assessments for most of the construction occupations is called TRA, Trades Recognition Australia. And we have two types of skills assessment you can do. All right, we have the OSAP, Overseas Skills Assessment Program, and we have the MSA, Migration Skills Assessment. Not all countries are eligible to go through the OSAP. So if you cannot go through the OSAP, that is okay. You can also go through the MSA. With the MSA, everyone is eligible. Let me quickly head onto their website and show you guys. Okay, so I'm on the Trades Recognition Australians website. Okay, so this is their homepage. When you come here, they've got their programs. All right, so if you are someone that is applying from offshore, you need to look at these two. So the Offshore Skills Assessment Program and the Migration Skills Assessment. All right, I'll quickly go into this one, then I'll come to this one. So with the Offshore Skills Assessment Program, it's not eligible for everyone. So when you quickly come here, Offshore Skills Assessment Program, OSAP. The OSAP is for applicants who need a skills assessment as part of their skilled migration visa application to the Department of Home Affairs. When you come here, they've got all the steps. So the eligibility, before you register, how to register, after you register. Okay, so when you click on the eligibility requirements, yeah, it's got all the information here. So I just want to read here. If your country of passport is not next to your occupation in the table below, you can still register an assessment under OSAP if you can travel to Australia or another OSAP nominated country for an assessment, and you can get the right visa for the country before you travel to that country for the skill assessment. So what this is basically saying is that we have the countries that are eligible to undertake the skills assessment. All right, so when you look here, they've got the nominated occupation and also the nominated countries and SARs. So for every occupation you see on the left, the relevant countries that are eligible will be here. So they are saying that, let's say if you are watching from Ghana, you want to take this skills assessment, okay, and your country, I know Ghana is not listed here. For example, let's say you're a carpenter, okay, you want to take the OSAP skills assessment. When you look here for carpenters, the people that are eligible are from Brazil, Fiji, Hong Kong, SAR, India, Papua New Guinea, Philippines, South Africa, Thailand, Vietnam, Zimbabwe. So if you are able to travel from Ghana to any of these countries to undertake the assessment, then you can go through the process. All right, so the OSAP is not for everyone. So if your country is not listed here, that is okay. There's another skill assessment you can do, which is the migration skills assessment. So I'll quickly go here. All right, so the migration skill assessment is for everyone. The purpose of this is for only the skills assessment only. So you can get your post skill assessment, and they're going to base this on your qualification, your work experience, and the rest. Okay, so you have to give all these documents to them, and they'll assess if you meet the requirements. If you meet the requirement, they'll give you something called a positive skills assessment. Once you get a positive skill assessment, you can only use it for migration purpose only. That means you can use it to lodge your EOI, apply for your visa. But when you get to Australia, you are not licensed as a carpenter yet. That's the main difference between the OSAP, okay, and the migration skill assessment. This is for migration purpose only. So yes, if your country is not listed in the other one, you can still go with this one. But know that once you go through the process and you travel to Australia, for you to work as a carpenter, you need to be licensed. So you have to go through another channel to get your license before you start working. So there is an application guidelines document. It's a Word document, can also download as PDF. So I'll highly recommend you download. It's got every information in regards to what you need to do to get a positive skills assessment. Okay, so the skill assessment program application guidelines. Okay, this document's got everything. So you basically need like your relevant work experience. You have to get all your your qualification. If you don't have qualification, so you'll be able to use your work experience. The OSAP, if you don't have the relevant qualification, but you have a lot of work experience, you'll still be able to go through the process. But with the MSA, you need a qualification to go through the process. I'm not going to go through one by one, but I just want to let you know that this document's got everything. All right, it's got everything. You have all the information here. How do you get this document? So basically, when you come on the migration skill assessment, because I know that's what most of you guys will be using. When you come here, you come to the eligibility. All right, they've got the MSA application guidelines here. You click on it. You can download either the document or the PDF. As easy as that. And guys, the reason why I'm saying that the construction industry is now in the high demand is, even with the trade recognition in Australia, when you are lodging, let's say, your MSA skill assessment, it can take up to 4 months, or let's say 120 something days for them to process. But they have something called a trade recognition construction occupation list for prioritization and streamlining. So if your occupation falls within any of these, they'll process your skills assessments within no time. So this tells you that yes, most of the occupations in the construction industry or the construction occupations are in high demand. All right, so yeah, prepare evidence. So you need to submit all these, to get your skill assessment done. 6 for an English test. You need minimum competence, okay, to go through the process. So either IELTS band 6 each or PT 50. But for you to get a higher point, okay, you need to target maybe all 7s or all 8. When it comes to IELTS, you need to calculate your point. How do you calculate your point? It's really easy. You come on Google, then you type in point calculator Australia. Click on the first link. Select 189. Okay, and just enter your details, and at the end it's going to give you your points. So if you score anywhere from 65 and above, that means you can go through the process. So if you get 65, then yep, you can go through the process. If you're targeting Mr. Plus 190, you get extra 5 points. If you're targeting 491, you get extra 15 points. Once you have a positive skill assessment and you calculate your points and you have over 65, you can now lodge your EOI. To lodge your EOI, you basically come here, go on skill select. Yep, so this is the skill select website. You come here, you go start an EOI. It's got all the process here, okay? You come all the way to the bottom, you click on submit an EOI. Then it starts entering your details. As easy as that. And once you lodge your EOI, you patiently wait. And when you get an invitation, then hey, congratulations, you applied for your visa. As easy as that. So this process is for those that are living offshore. In case you're watching me and you are living onshore too, your process is slightly different, okay? So finish your qualification in Australia. Typically, let's say certificate 3 in, let's say, carpentry or like plastering or building and construction, okay? Once you finish, you have to get your PSA. You finish your studies, you need to be on a full rights working visa. So let's say if you're eligible to apply for subclass 485, you need to do that first, so you can go through the job ready program. So in the job ready program, you need to register a paid employment. You basically need to get an employer, okay, and get like a relevant work experience for at least 12 months. All right, once you do that, you have to make sure you are registering with Trades Recognition Australia. Once you go through the process and you get the relevant work experience and you finish the job ready program, then you get basically a full skills assessment from Trades Recognition Australia. You lodge your EOI, then you go through the process. As easy as that. So again, when you come on the Trades Recognition program, okay, we have the PSA here. All right, the job ready program. All right, so if you're living offshore, you need to target this too. So most times this one, because I know most of my viewers will be from like Africa, okay? So apart from I think South Africa, Zimbabwe and the rest, most people have to go through the MSA. But if you are living in Australia, you don't have to worry about these. You basically have to go through the job ready program, okay? So this to get your 485 and also this to go through the to give your relevant work experience. Then you go through that. As easy as that. Let's say you're watching me, you don't have any qualification. Hey, the government has set up a 5 years time plan to build 1.2 million homes. So what you can basically do is you can also come and study in Australia. If you choose a course in any of these, occupations. So any occupations here, yes, we have relevant RTOs in Australia that will have to go through and study. Okay, be able to study for let's say 1 year or 2 years. After that, you go through the job ready program, get your skill assessment and EOI, then bang, receive an invitation. So let's say you are watching, you just finished high school, or you already have like your degree, but you want to use this opportunity, then again, this is another opportunity for you to come study. Okay, come through the student visa route, and once you finish your study, go through the process, get an invitation, and remain and work in Australia. And that's all for today, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please click on that subscribe button so you do not miss out when Kwame I create another useful video. I'll see you guys on the other side. It's a bye for now.